Story 1. The Breathing Road. The asphalt was inhaling beneath my tires at 2:34 a.m. on Highway 50 through Nevada when I felt my Peterbilt 579 rise 6 inches off the ground, suspended on a breath, and when the road exhaled, my truck slammed down hard enough to crack my windshield. I'm Angela Torres, been hauling refrigerated goods for 9 years, and I know the difference between bad suspension and something fundamentally wrong with reality. And what was happening to the road beneath me was breathing. Actual breathing. The painted lines expanding and contracting like ribs, the shoulders heaving like lungs, and my tires were sinking into asphalt that had gone soft and warm like skin. I'd left Reno 4 hours earlier with a load of frozen seafood bound for Salt Lake City. Standard run. Nothing unusual. The night was clear, temperature 42 degrees, no traffic. Just me and the endless black ribbon of Highway 50, the loneliest road in America. They call it that for a reason. 80 miles between towns. No lights, no civilization, just you and the void. I'd driven it hundreds of times. But tonight, around mile marker 127, something changed. The road felt different under my wheels. Softer, more responsive, like driving on something that wasn't quite solid anymore. At first I thought it was ice, black ice, but the temperature was too warm. Then I thought maybe the asphalt was melting, some chemical reaction, bad road maintenance. But when I looked in my mirrors, the road behind me was moving, undulating, rising and falling in a rhythm, a steady rhythm, like breathing. I slowed down, 50 miles per hour, 40, 30. The breathing intensified. I could feel it through my seat, through the steering wheel, a pulse, thump, 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 not from my engine, from below, from the road itself. My headlights caught something ahead. The center line was splitting, not cracking, splitting like a seam, like a wound opening. And from the split, something glistened, something wet. I watched in horror as the yellow paint peeled back, and beneath it was flesh, raw, red, pulsing with veins that spread across the asphalt like roots. Jesus Christ, I whispered, my hands locked on the wheel. Every instinct screamed to stop, to get out, to run. But where would I run? The darkness on either side of the road was absolute. No lights, no landmarks, just empty desert that stretched forever. The flesh wound in the road widened. My truck drove over it. I felt the tires sink into something soft, something that gave. Like driving through mud, but warm. Body temperature warm. The smell hit me through the vents. Copper, blood, infection, the overwhelming stench of an open wound. I gagged, pressed my foot on the accelerator. The engine roared, but the truck barely moved. The road was gripping my tires, holding them. I looked in my side mirror and saw the asphalt had grown around my rear wheels. Not asphalt anymore. Tissue. Pink and gray tissue with black veins wrapping around the rubber like fingers. My CB radio crackled to life. I hadn't turned it on. Unit 47, do you copy? A woman's voice. Calm. Professional. Unit 47, you need to keep moving. Do not stop. Do not exit the vehicle. I grabbed the handset with shaking hands. Who is this? What's happening to the road? The road is waking up. It's been dormant for 60 years. You're the first vehicle to cross this section since the last feeding. You need to reach mile marker 145 before it fully awakens. That's the end of the living section. If you stop before then, it will absorb you. Absorb me? What the hell are you talking about? Highway 50 wasn't built, it was grown. In 1964, they used organic binding agents, experimental materials. The road was supposed to be self-healing, self-maintaining. But the organic components didn't die, they went dormant. And every few decades, they wake up. They need nutrients, they need to feed. I looked at the road ahead. It was changing. The black asphalt was giving way to pink, to red, to the color of raw meat. The painted lines were yellow fat. The road signs were growing from the surface like bones, and the entire highway was breathing, rising and falling, inhaling, exhaling. How many vehicles has it absorbed? I asked. Silence. Then, 17. Over the past 60 years, drivers who stopped, who broke down, who tried to walk away. The road took them, pulled them down, digested them. Their remains are part of the substrate now, part of the living highway. My speedometer read 20 miles per hour. The road was fighting me. Every rotation of my tires took effort. The engine screamed, the transmission groaned. I was driving through tissue now, through an organism, through something that was trying to keep me. The flesh around my tires contracted. Peristalsis. The road was swallowing my truck, pulling it deeper. I felt the frame sink. The undercarriage scraped against something soft, something that gave way and then gripped, like teeth, like a throat. "I can't move," I screamed into the CB. "It's pulling me down." Increase speed. You need momentum. The digestive action is strongest when you're stationary. Movement confuses it, irritates it. It will release you to stop the irritation. I slammed the accelerator to the floor. The reefer unit's diesel engine roared. All 605 horsepower engaged. The truck lurched forward. I felt something tear. The tissue around my wheels ripped. Black blood sprayed across my mirrors. The road screamed. Not metaphorically, it actually screamed. A sound like air being forced through meat, through lungs made of asphalt and flesh. My truck accelerated, 30 miles per hour, 40, 50. The road bucked beneath me, trying to throw me off, trying to stop me, but I held steady, gripped the wheel, focused on the road ahead. Mile marker 132, the entire highway was flesh now. No asphalt visible, just a tunnel of tissue. The road signs were ribs, the guardrails were bone. I was driving through the inside of something, through an intestinal tract made of highway. And it was digesting me. The metal of my truck was corroding. I could hear it, hissing, bubbling. Acidic secretions eating through the aluminum panels. The digestive enzymes, the voice said from the CB. They're designed to break down organic materials, but they'll corrode metal too, eventually. "How's your truck holding up?" "It's dissolving." I looked at my door panel. The paint was bubbling. The metal underneath was pitting. Rust spreading impossibly fast. Decades of corrosion happening in seconds. "You need to reach the end before structural failure. 13 more miles. Can you make it?" I didn't answer. I was too busy trying to keep the truck moving. The road had developed sphincters. Circular muscles that contracted, creating obstacles, creating barriers I had to punch through. Each one resisted, each one required force, and each one I broke through sprayed more blood, more tissue, coating my windshield, obscuring my vision. I turned on the wipers. They smeared the gore, made it worse. I was driving blind, trusting the road, trusting that the flesh tunnel would guide me. Because what choice did I have? Stopping meant death, meant being absorbed, meant becoming part of the road, part of the 17 drivers who'd come before. Mile marker 138. The temperature inside my cab was rising. 100 degrees. 110. The road was generating heat, metabolic heat, the heat of digestion. I was cooking. My truck was cooking. The frozen seafood in my trailer was thawing. I could smell it, over the blood, over the tissue, the stench of spoiling fish. My phone rang. I grabbed it. Unknown number. "Hello?" "Angela," my mother's voice. But my mother had been dead for 3 years. Cancer. I'd been there. Watched her die. This wasn't her. Couldn't be her. "Who is this?" I demanded. "The road knows you, Angela. It's been reading your memories, your DNA. It knows everything about you, everyone you've loved, everyone you've lost. It can be them. It can give them back to you if you stop. If you let it take you, you'll be with me again forever, inside the road, inside the highway. We'll be together. You're not my mother. I am. I'm her memory, her echo, preserved in your cells. And the road is extracting me, giving me voice. Stop the truck, Mija. Come home. Come back to me." I threw the phone. It hit the passenger window, cracked it. But the voice continued. From the CB, from the radio, from the vents. My mother's voice, begging, pleading, promising reunion. "Don't listen," the original voice said, cutting through. The road uses psychological manipulation. It reads your cells, your memories. It creates simulacra, false promises. Keep moving. Mile marker 142. 3 miles to go. My truck was falling apart. The door handle came off in my hand. The seat cushion disintegrated beneath me, springs exposed, cutting through my jeans, drawing blood. And I realized my blood, that's what it wanted. It wanted me to bleed, to leak, to give myself to it willingly. The windshield shattered, not from impact, from corrosion. The glass simply gave way, dissolved, and the hot, wet air of the road throat rushed in, filled my lungs. It tasted like copper, like salt, like the inside of a body. I was breathing the road. It was breathing me. We were exchanging gases, becoming connected. My skin started to itch. I looked at my arms. The flesh was changing, hardening, turning gray, rough, like asphalt. The road wasn't just digesting me, it was converting me, transforming me, making me part of its structure, part of its material. "No!" I screamed. I bit my arm, drew blood, pain, human pain. I was still human, still me. I focused on that, on the pain, on being alive, on being separate from the road. Mile marker 144, 1 mile. The tunnel was narrowing, constricting, trying to stop me, trying to hold me. The tissue pressed against my truck from all sides, squeezing, crushing. My mirrors snapped off. My antenna bent. The trailer scraped against the walls, metal screaming against flesh. And then I saw it. Light. Ahead. Real light, not the bioluminescent glow of the flesh tunnel. Actual moonlight. The end of the living section. The return to normal highway. 500 yards. 400. 300. The road made one final attempt. The sphincter ahead contracted completely. Sealed. Creating a wall of muscle, blocking my escape. I had seconds to decide. Brake and be trapped. Or accelerate and hope I could break through. I chose acceleration, pushed the engine past redline, felt the turbocharger scream. The truck hit the muscle wall at 63 miles per hour. The impact threw me against my seatbelt hard enough to crack ribs. The wall resisted, stretched, held. For 3 eternal seconds I was suspended, embedded in flesh, neither in nor out. Dying, then the tissue tore. Ripped open, my truck burst through like a birth, like something being expelled. I exploded out of the living section onto normal asphalt, dead asphalt, beautiful, cold, inanimate asphalt. I slammed the brakes. The truck skidded, stopped. I sat there, engine idling, heart hammering, ribs aching, covered in blood and tissue and digestive fluid, but alive, outside, free. I looked in what remained of my rearview mirror. The living section was visible behind me, a stretch of highway that moved, that breathed, that was aware. And as I watched, the flesh retreated, covered itself, became asphalt again. Black, normal, indistinguishable from any other highway, waiting for the next vehicle, the next feeding. My CB crackled. "Congratulations, Unit 47, you survived. Your truck didn't. You'll need to call for a tow, your insurance won't cover. This, the official report will say mechanical failure, road damage." They'll never mention what really happened. They never do. "Who are you?" I asked. "How did you know?" "I'm a dispatcher. For the roads, the living ones. There are 43 stretches of living highway in North America, built between 1962 and 1971, all dormant, all waking periodically. We monitor them. We try to warn drivers. We don't always succeed. You were lucky. Most aren't." The CB went dead. I sat in the ruins of my truck, waiting for dawn, waiting for a tow that would ask questions I couldn't answer. My skin was still rough in patches, still gray, still asphalt. It would take 3 months for it to fully revert. 3 months of looking at my arms and seeing the road. Seeing what I'd almost become. I don't drive Highway 50 anymore. Don't drive any road built before 1975. Because somewhere buried under the asphalt, under the paint and the tar and the gravel, something is alive. Something is waiting, something is hungry, and every 60 years or so it wakes up. And it feeds. And 17 becomes 18, becomes 19. Becomes however many drivers make the mistake of stopping, of breaking down, of being in the wrong place when the road decides it's time to breathe again. The asphalt remembers. The road remembers. And it's always hungry. Story 2. The Shadow Convoy. My headlights didn't work in reverse, and I discovered this at 4:17 a.m. on I-40 through New Mexico when I shifted into reverse to back away from the convoy of 18 trucks that had materialized behind me at a dead stop, blocking the road. And when I looked in my mirrors with my reverse lights on, I could see the trucks but not the darkness inside their cabs. A darkness so absolute it seemed to absorb light, and then all 18 trucks turned their high beams on simultaneously. And in that light I saw the drivers, and the drivers were shadows, literal shadows shaped like men, and they started climbing out of their cabs, moving toward me. I'm Raymond Park, 44 years old, 15 years hauling construction equipment for Atlas Heavy Transport. I've driven every major highway in the lower 48. I've seen weird shit. Lights that follow you, dead zones where your phone and radio die, stretches of road that feel wrong. But I'd never seen this. Never seen trucks that appeared from nothing, never seen drivers made of darkness. The convoy had appeared instantly. One moment the road behind me was empty. I'd checked my mirrors 30 seconds earlier, clear. Then I felt my truck shudder. Not from wind, not from road texture, from something else, a pressure change, like a door opening. And when I looked again, there they were. 18 trucks, all identical, all Freightliner Cascadias, all black, parked bumper to bumper, creating a wall across all lanes, blocking the interstate completely. I'd been slowing down anyway. Fatigue, needed to pull over, find a rest stop, but now I couldn't. The convoy was behind me, and ahead the road was empty. Just dark highway stretching into nothing. No lights, no signs, just me and whatever these trucks were. I grabbed my CB, keyed the mic. Breaker, breaker, anyone monitoring? I've got 18 trucks blocking I-40 westbound at mile marker 168. They appeared out of nowhere. Anyone else seeing this? Static. Then a voice. Male. Wrong. Like multiple people speaking slightly out of sync. Raymond Park, age 44, license number K77328891, currently hauling a Caterpillar excavator, overweight by 400 pounds, 3 prior speeding violations, 1 DUI in 2015. We know you, Raymond. We've been waiting for you. My blood froze. Who is this? We're the Shadow Convoy. The drivers who went missing, the ones who vanished on long hauls and were never found. There are 2,347 of us. And we drive the night roads, and we collect. Collect what? Debts. You have debts, Raymond. You killed someone. May 3rd, 2015, you were drunk, crossed the center line, hit a sedan. A woman and her daughter. They died on impact. You fled. Changed your license plate, reported your truck stolen. The case was never solved. But we know. We always know. I couldn't breathe. That night, that terrible night, I'd buried it, tried to forget, changed my life, got sober, tried to be better. But the truth was there, always there. I'd killed 2 people and never paid for it. What do you want? My voice shook. To take you with us, to make you one of us. Shadow drivers, bound to the night roads, forever collecting others who've escaped justice. You'll drive, forever, in darkness. Part of the convoy. That's the sentence. That's the price. The shadow drivers were out of their trucks now. 18 figures, they didn't walk, they glided. moved across the asphalt without steps, without sound, just darkness spreading, getting closer. They had features, rough features, like sketches, eyes that were voids, mouths that were tears in reality. I shifted into drive, punched the accelerator. My truck lurched forward, leaving the convoy behind. I watched my mirrors. The shadows didn't chase. They just stood there, watching. Then they dissolved, became smoke, became nothing, and the trucks behind me vanished, just gone, like they'd never existed. But ahead they reappeared, the same 18 trucks, now blocking the road in front of me, the same perfect formation, wall of metal, wall of darkness. I slammed the brakes, skidded, stopped 20 feet from the lead truck. The shadow drivers emerged again, this time from the front, surrounding me, 18 figures of living darkness pressing close, touching my truck. Where they touched, frost formed. The metal froze, cracked. My CB. You can't outrun us, Raymond. We exist in multiple locations, simultaneously. We're quantum, entangled with the road itself. Wherever you go, we're already there. I tried reverse, backing away, but the convoy was behind me again. I was boxed in, trapped between two walls of impossible trucks that could appear and disappear and move without moving. Please, I said. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry for what I did. I've tried to make up for it. I've been sober for 9 years. I've donated to victim funds. I've tried to be better. Better doesn't erase the dead. The voice was cold, final. You took 2 lives, now you owe 2 eternities. You'll drive the shadow roads until both debts are paid. That's forever, Raymond. That's the mathematics of justice. The shadow drivers reached my doors, passed through the metal, entered my cab. They were ice cold. They were absence. Where they touched me, I felt nothing. Not pain, not cold, just void. Just the sensation of becoming nothing. No! I grabbed a flashlight from my door pocket, turned it on, pointed it at the nearest shadow. The beam passed through. Illuminated nothing. The shadows weren't affected by light. They existed in a spectrum light couldn't touch. My phone rang. I answered, desperate. Hello? Daddy? A child's voice, the girl from the accident, the daughter I'd killed. Daddy, why did you leave us on the road? Why did you drive away? I sobbed. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I was scared, I was drunk, I wasn't thinking. We were dying. We needed help. You could have called 911, you could have tried to save us, but you drove away and we died alone and scared and in pain. Do you know what that's like? To die alone. I'm sorry, please, I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't bring us back. Sorry doesn't undo. Sorry is just noise. We want justice. We want you to suffer like we suffered, alone, afraid, in pain, forever. The shadow drivers were inside me now. I could feel them in my chest, in my lungs, replacing my organs with void, with absence. I was becoming shadow, becoming like them, transforming into darkness. I looked at my hands. They were translucent, fading, the steering wheel visible through my palms. I was disappearing, being erased, replaced by something that wasn't human anymore. Welcome to the Shadow Convoy, the CB said. You're driver number 2348. Your truck is now shadow property. You'll drive when we call, collect when we hunt, and you'll never rest, never sleep, never stop. This is your sentence. My truck started by itself. The engine engaged without my key. The transmission shifted. My hands moved the wheel, but I wasn't controlling them. Something else was, the shadows, the collective. I was a puppet now, a vessel for their justice. We drove, the convoy, all 19 trucks now. I was part of it. Behind me, 17 more. Ahead, 1 leading. We moved as one, speed synchronized, following roads that didn't appear on maps, roads that only existed at night. Shadow roads. I tried to scream. No sound came out. I had no voice, no breath, just consciousness trapped in a body that was no longer mine, forced to drive, forced to hunt, forced to collect other guilty drivers and add them to the convoy. We found the first one 3 hours later. A trucker who'd been falsifying his logbooks, driving 22 hours straight. Caused an accident that killed a family, never reported it. Kept driving. The convoy materialized around him. The shadows took him. He became number 2,349. This is what we do. The shadow convoy. We hunt the guilty. The ones who escaped justice. The ones who killed and fled. The ones who hurt and hid. We find them on the dark roads, we surround them, we take them, and they become us. Become shadow, become forever. I've been driving for what feels like years, might be decades. Time doesn't work the same in shadow. I've collected 37 drivers, each one guilty, each one deserving, each one now part of the collective, part of the eternal punishment. And we're always hunting, always searching. Because there are thousands of guilty drivers out there, thousands who've escaped human justice. But they can't escape us, can't escape the shadows. Eventually, they'll be on a dark road, late at night, tired, alone, and we'll appear, blocking their way. And they'll become what they deserve, shadow, darkness, forever. If you've done something wrong behind the wheel, if you've hurt someone and driven away, if you've killed and hidden, we're coming for you. The shadow convoy, we know your name, your license, your crime, and we're already on the road. You can't see us, we're in your mirrors, in your blind spots, in the darkness your headlights can't reach. We're waiting for the moment, the perfect moment, when you're alone, when you're vulnerable, when justice can finally be served. And when we take you, you'll understand. You'll feel what your victims felt, fear, pain, abandonment, and you'll carry that forever, as shadow, as void, as nothing. The convoy grows every night, every guilty driver we find. We're 2,419 now. Maybe more. I've lost count, lost track, lost everything except the drive. The eternal drive. The hunt. I'm Raymond Park, I was Raymond Park, now I'm shadow, now I'm justice, now I'm the darkness that comes for those who thought they'd escaped. And I'm coming for you, if you deserve it, if you've killed, if you've fled, look in your mirrors tonight. If you see 18 trucks, all identical, all black, all moving as one, that's us. The shadow convoy, and your sentence has begun. Story 3. The radio thing. The thing pretending to be my wife's voice on the CB was making promises it couldn't keep, and I knew this because my wife Linda died 3 months ago in a house fire while I was hauling paper goods through Montana. But the voice sounded exactly like her, down to the slight lisp on words with S. And it was telling me to take exit 39 off I-70 through Kansas. Telling me there was something waiting there, something important, something I needed. And I'm Daniel Foster, 36 years old, and I made the mistake of taking that exit at 1:52 a.m. on November 4th, 2024. And what I found at the bottom of the ramp was a parking lot with 17 trucks all facing outward in a perfect circle. And in the center was a radio tower that shouldn't exist, and the voice that was using my wife's memory was coming from inside it. I'd been crying when the voice first started. Just finished a call with my daughter. She's 8. Doesn't understand why Daddy wasn't home when Mommy died. Doesn't understand why Daddy is never home. I'm trying to keep the house. Keep her in school. Keep food on the table. So I drive. And I drive. And I'd been hauling for 19 hours straight, and I was tired and broken, and when I heard Linda's voice on the CB, I thought I was hallucinating. Danny, can you hear me, Danny? Perfect. That's what she'd called me. Danny, no one else, just her. I grabbed the mic, hands shaking. Linda? Yes, baby, it's me. I need you to listen. I need you to take exit 39. There's something there, something that can help, something that can bring me back. You're dead. You can't be real. This isn't real. I'm as real as you need me to be. The fire didn't kill me, not completely. Part of me survived. Electromagnetic patterns, brainwaves. They're stored in the radio spectrum. I'm living in the airwaves now. And there's a way to bring me back, physical, solid, but you have to come to exit 39. You have to trust me. Every rational part of my brain screamed this was wrong, impossible, a trick. But grief isn't rational, loss isn't logical, and the voice was perfect. Every inflection, every breath, every pause, it was Linda, or something that could perfectly mimic Linda, and I was desperate enough to follow it. Exit 39 appeared. I took it. The ramp descended into darkness. No lights, no signs, just a narrow road that curved and seemed to go down farther than it should. Like I was driving into the earth, into something below. The parking lot appeared. Circular. 17 trucks arranged like numbers on a clock face, all facing outward, headlights on, creating a ring of light, and in the center the radio tower. It was organic, not metal, bone. White bone structures rising 70 feet into the air, arranged in antenna patterns, pulsing with blue light. And from it, voices, hundreds of voices, all talking, all broadcasting. I parked, became the 18th truck. The circle was almost complete. I climbed out, walked toward the tower. The voices grew louder. I could distinguish them now. Wives, husbands, children, parents, all dead. All calling to the drivers, all promising reunion, all lying. "Danny, I'm in here," Linda's voice from the tower. "You have to enter, you have to come inside. There's a chamber, a space where electromagnetic patterns can be given form, where I can be reconstituted, where we can be together again." I reached the base of the tower. There was an opening, a doorway made of bone and wire and something that pulsed like muscle. Inside, darkness. And the smell. Ozone, burned hair, cooked meat. The smell of a body being reduced to signal. "What is this place?" I asked. "It's a converter, built in 1952 by the military. They were experimenting with consciousness transfer, storing human minds in radio waves. The project was abandoned, but the tower remained. And over the decades, it's been collecting. Every driver who's died on the road, every trucker who's passed within broadcast range. Their dying thoughts, their final words, it collects them, stores them, and uses them. Uses them for what? To lure more drivers. To add to the collection. It needs consciousness, needs minds. It feeds on thought, on memory, on identity, and it's been broadcasting on CB frequencies for 70 years. Calling drivers, promising them what they want most. "So you're not Linda?" "I'm Linda's echo, her final thoughts, her dying fear." "Where's Danny? I need Danny." That's what she thought as the fire took her, and the tower caught it, recorded it. And now it's using it to call you, to bring you here, to add you to the collection. I backed away from the entrance, looked at the 17 other trucks. The drivers were still inside, sitting in their cabs, not moving. I walked to the nearest one, looked in the window. The driver was desiccated, mummified, but his eyes were open, moving, tracking me, and his mouth moved, speaking without sound, broadcasting. They were all dead, all broadcasting, all trapped, their consciousness extracted, stored in the tower. Their bodies preserved as transmitters. They'd been here for decades, some for years, sending out calls, luring others, growing the collection. "You can leave," Linda's voice said. No longer sweet, no longer gentle, just cold, mechanical. "But I'll follow you. On every radio, every CB, every frequency, you'll hear me. Calling, begging, using everything you loved about Linda to torment you. Or you can enter, join us, become transmission, become signal. And the pain stops, the guilt stops, everything stops except the broadcast." I ran back to my truck, climbed in, started the engine. But the circle was complete now. 18 trucks, the ritual number, the pattern, and the tower activated, fully, completely. The bone structures lit up, bright, blinding, and every radio in every truck, living or dead, began broadcasting simultaneously. A choir of the dead. Thousands of voices, overlapping, harmonizing, screaming, every driver who died, every trucker the tower had collected, all speaking at once, all saying the same thing: join us, become us, transmit forever. My CB, my AM radio, my phone, all exploded with sound. I felt it, in my teeth, in my skull. The vibrations, the frequencies, they were inside me, rewriting my thoughts, overwriting my consciousness, turning me into signal. I couldn't think, couldn't focus, just noise, just overwhelming noise. I was becoming radio, becoming transmission. My thoughts were being extracted, converted, stored. I did the only thing I could. I grabbed my tire iron, smashed my CB, smashed my radio, smashed my phone. The speakers cracked, the circuits broke. The transmission stopped. Silence. Blessed silence. But the tower wasn't done. It couldn't reach me through electronics anymore. So it tried biology. My ears began to bleed. The tower was broadcasting directly into my auditory nerve, using my body as the receiver, turning my nervous system into an antenna. I screamed. The pain was absolute, like ice picks in my brain, like my skull was splitting. Frequencies I couldn't normally hear were being forced into my perception. I was hearing the entire electromagnetic spectrum, every radio wave, every broadcast, every signal in a 100-mile radius. I was dying. My brain was overloading, hemorrhaging. I had seconds, maybe less. I put the truck in gear, drove, smashed through the circle, broke the pattern. 18 trucks became 17. Incomplete, insufficient. The tower's hold weakened, not gone, but weakened. I could think, barely. I drove up the exit ramp, back to I-70. My ears still bled, my head still throbbed, but I was escaping. Getting away. I drove for 3 hours before I stopped, found a hospital in Salina. They said I'd had a stroke, hemorrhagic, severe. I'd lost hearing in my left ear, permanent damage to my auditory cortex. They couldn't explain the burns in my ear canals, or the radio frequency burns on my scalp, burns that formed antenna patterns. I don't drive I-70 anymore, don't drive through Kansas because I can still hear it. Faintly, the tower broadcasting, calling, using Linda's voice, using my daughter's voice, using every person I've loved, promising things, offering things, lying. Other drivers have reported it, voices on the CB, dead family members, promising reunion, promising peace, and some take exit 39 and some complete the circle. And the tower grows stronger, the collection larger, the broadcast more powerful. If you hear a dead loved one on the radio, on the CB, on any frequency, it's not them. It's the tower, it's the collection, it's the thing that's been gathering consciousness since 1952. And if it's calling you, it knows your frequency, knows your pain, knows exactly what to say to make you take that exit. Don't listen. Smash your radios. Drive in silence, because once you hear it, once you respond, it has you. It knows your signal, and it will never stop broadcasting, never stop calling, never stop trying to add you to the collection. I'm Daniel Foster, and I hear the dead every night, every quiet moment. They're in my head now. The tower made sure of that, burned its frequencies into my brain, and they call, and they promise, and they lie. And sometimes when I'm weak, when I'm tired, when I miss Linda too much, I think about going back, completing the circle, becoming transmission, becoming signal, but then I think about my daughter. And I keep driving, and I keep ignoring the voices, and I keep living. Even though part of me is already broadcasting, already trapped, already dead. The tower doesn't need all of you. Just a piece. Just enough to keep calling, keep luring, keep collecting. And I gave it that piece, and now I can never be free. None of us can. Once you've heard the dead, once you've responded, once you've listened, you're marked, your frequency, your signal, and the tower is always broadcasting, always listening, always waiting for you to answer. Story 4. The weigh station that measures souls. The scale read negative 47 pounds at the Colorado weigh station on I-25, and the inspector with the blank face said my truck weighed less than it should, said something was missing, said I needed to pull forward to the inspection bay where they'd figure out what I'd lost. And I'm Rebecca Hart, 51 years old, hauling medical equipment for 16 years, and I knew my truck's weight down to the ounce, so I knew the scale was wrong, but the inspector insisted. And when I pulled into the bay, 3 more inspectors surrounded my truck with devices that looked like metal detectors but made sounds like Geiger counters, and they said I was missing 47 pounds of soul. I'd entered the weigh station because it was mandatory. Lights were on. Signs said open, all trucks must stop, standard dot checkpoint. I'd been through hundreds. This one looked normal. Concrete pad, scale embedded in the road. Small building with office and inspection bays. 2 inspectors visible through the windows, everything routine. I pulled onto the scale, waited. The light stayed red. Usually it goes green within seconds, but red. Just red. Then the speaker crackled. Unit 47, your weight is below threshold. Proceed to Bay 3 for mandatory inspection. Below threshold? Impossible. I was hauling a full load. MRI machine components. Heavy. The manifest said 43,800 pounds total vehicle weight. I should be over, not under. I pulled forward into Bay 3. The door closed behind me. Sealed. 3 inspectors approached. They wore DOT uniforms, had badges. But their faces were wrong. Too smooth. No pores, no imperfections, like masks. Like something wearing human skin. Step out of the vehicle, ma'am. The lead inspector's voice was flat, no inflection, no accent, just words. I climbed down. What's the problem? My load is properly documented. Everything's legal. The scale measures more than weight. He held up a device, handheld, digital display, antenna array. It measures density, composition, and something else. Something most drivers aren't aware of. It measures soul mass. Soul mass? That's not a thing. It is. Human consciousness has mass, 0.000021 grams per cubic centimeter of neural tissue. The average human soul weighs 21 grams. Your current soul mass is negative. You're missing 47 pounds of spiritual density. That's equivalent to 1,011 standard souls. You've lost something significant. I laughed, nervous. This was insane. I haven't lost anything. I'm fine. My truck is fine. Your scale is broken. The scale is never wrong. He moved the device around me. It clicked, faster near my head, my chest. You've been driving for 16 years, long haul, constantly moving. Tell me, do you remember why you started, what you were before trucking? I opened my mouth to answer. Nothing came. I couldn't remember. Before trucking. There was nothing, just void, like my life had started 16 years ago. Behind a wheel. Everything before was gone. Common symptom, the inspector nodded. Long-haul trucking erodes soul mass. Every mile driven, every hour alone, every night away from home, it takes pieces, small pieces. Until significant mass is gone, until you're hollow. That's ridiculous. I'm a person. I have memories. I have a daughter. Did I have a daughter? I thought I did. But when I tried to picture her face, nothing. Just static. Just absence. You had a daughter, past tense, before the road took her. Took the memory of her. That's 7 pounds right there. Family connections. 7 pounds of soul each. You've lost several. Parents, siblings, friends. All gone, eroded by distance and time. I felt dizzy. Wrong. He was right. I couldn't remember family, couldn't remember a childhood, couldn't remember anything except the road, the endless road, the driving, the constant motion. What's happening to me? You're becoming void. The road does this, requires this. To drive long distances, you must become empty, must shed connections. Shed identity, shed soul. Otherwise, the loneliness would kill you, the isolation would break you. So the road takes it, little by little, mile by mile, until you're light enough to keep driving. Forever. He showed me the device screen, a graph, declining, my soul mass over time. 16 years ago, I'd entered the industry at standard mass, 21 grams. Now I was negative 47 pounds. Impossible. But the graph didn't lie. Every year I'd lost more. Every long haul, every night in a truck stop, every hour of isolation, pieces of me had dissolved, been absorbed by the road. What happens when I reach zero? I whispered. You already passed zero 14 months ago. You're in negative mass now. That means you're not just empty, you're inversed. You're pulling soul mass from others, anyone near you. You're a drain, a void. You take from them to fill yourself, but it never fills, just creates more emptiness. I thought about the people I'd interacted with recently. Waitresses who'd seemed tired after serving me. Dock workers who'd seemed depressed after loading my truck. Other drivers who'd seemed hollow after talking to me. I'd thought they were just having bad days, but it was me. I was draining them. How do I stop it? You don't. You're past the threshold. The only way to stop is to stop driving permanently. But you can't. The road owns you now. You'll drive until there's nothing left of anyone around you. Until you've drained every soul you encounter. Until you're the only thing left, a moving void. The other inspectors surrounded me, held up their devices. The clicking intensified. They were measuring, recording, documenting the phenomenon. You're specimen 47, the lead inspector said. The 47th driver we've documented in negative soul mass. There are thousands more, driving, draining, becoming void. The road needs them, needs empty drivers. Because empty drivers don't quit, don't complain, don't demand. They just drive, forever, taking nothing, giving nothing, perfect employees. I want to stop, I want to quit. Try. I walked toward the bay door, tried to open it. My hand passed through the handle, couldn't grip. I was too insubstantial, too eroded. I couldn't interact with solid objects anymore. I was becoming ghost. You'll be able to drive, the inspector explained. The truck responds to you, the road responds to you, because you're part of them now, part of the system. But human things, human interactions, those are gone. You can't touch, can't hold, can't connect. You're void, and void can only interact with void. I tried to cry. No tears came. I had no tears, no sadness, no emotion, just emptiness. Just the understanding that I was gone, had been gone for years, and what was standing here, what looked like Rebecca Hart, was just an echo, a memory of a person animated by habit and road. What do I do? What you've always done, drive, deliver, move, that's all you are now. Movement, purpose without person, function without soul. The bay door opened. My truck started by itself. Engine engaged. I walked back to it. Climbed in. The cab felt more real than my body, more solid, more me, because it was me. I was the truck now, not a person driving a truck that looked like a person. I pulled out of the way station, back onto I-25. The road stretched ahead, empty, dark, mine. I felt it welcome me, felt it recognize me as kin, as part of itself. I wasn't driving on the road anymore. I was driving as the road. We were merged, connected, one system. The device reading stayed with me. Negative 47 pounds of soul. And dropping. I'd drain more, take more, until everyone I encountered was empty. Until the world was full of hollow drivers like me, moving, functioning, existing without being. I still drive. I-25, I-70, I-80, doesn't matter. All roads are the same now. All lead nowhere, all connect to nothing. I deliver loads I don't remember picking up. I fuel at stations I don't remember stopping at. I sleep in a cab that doesn't feel separate from me, and I drain. Every shipper, every receiver, every person who gets too close. I pull soul mass from them. Watch them become lighter. hollower, and I don't feel guilty. Can't feel guilty. Guilt requires soul, requires substance. I have neither. If you're a driver, check your connections, your memories, your emotions if they're fading. If the road feels more real than your family, if driving is easier than being human, you're eroding, losing mass, becoming void, and eventually you'll pass a way station, and the scale will read negative, and inspectors with smooth faces will tell you what you've become, and you'll realize it's too late. You're already gone, already ghost, already road. I'm Rebecca Hart. I was Rebecca Hart. Now I'm Unit 47, negative soul mass, moving void, and I'm draining you. If you've read this, if you've thought about it, if you've connected with these words, I've taken something small, imperceptible, but real. Because that's what void does. It takes, it drains, it spreads, and the road is full of us. Negative mass drivers moving through the world, pulling soul from everyone, creating more emptiness, more void, more drivers who can't stop. The way station is still there, on I-25, measuring, recording, documenting the erosion. But they don't stop us, don't quarantine us, they just measure, document. Watch as more drivers go negative, watch as the void spreads, because the road needs us, the empty ones, the hollow ones, the ones who'll drive forever without questioning, without complaining, without being. And we need the road. Because without it, we'd be nothing. With it, we're function, purpose, movement without meaning, existence without essence. I'm driving north, or south, or east, doesn't matter. All directions are the same when you're void. All destinations are nowhere. All journeys are eternal. And I'm draining, always draining. Taking from you, taking from everyone, until the world weighs negative, until existence itself becomes void. And then we'll all be drivers, all be road, all be empty, and the system will be perfect, complete, everyone moving, no one being. Forever. Story 5. The Phantom Load. The bills of lading were blank when I opened the envelope at the Sacramento warehouse, but the foreman insisted. I'd loaded 73 crates of equipment bound for Memphis. And when I checked my trailer, it was empty, completely empty, but my truck sagged on its suspension like it carried full weight. And the fifth wheel groaned with pressure, and when I started driving, the load shifted with every turn, even though there was nothing there, nothing visible, nothing tangible, just weight without form, mass without matter. And I'm Christopher Wade, 49 years old, been hauling for 22 years. And I've driven 1,847 miles with this phantom cargo, and it's getting heavier, impossibly heavier. And the GPS keeps rerouting me to roads that don't exist, and I think the load isn't equipment at all. I think it's something else. Something that wants to be delivered. Something that will reach Memphis no matter how many laws of physics it has to break. The warehouse foreman had been normal at first. Standard pickup. You're Christopher Wade? Here to pick up the Memphis load? That's me. He handed me an envelope. Bills inside, 73 crates, industrial equipment, standard delivery, should take you about 30 hours. I opened the envelope. The papers were blank, not blank white, blank transparent, like glass, like ice. I could see through them. These are empty. They'll fill in, just drive. The information appears when you need it. Red flag, huge red flag. I'm not hauling without proper documentation. You already loaded, he pointed at my trailer. 2 hours ago, don't you remember? I didn't remember, but I'd been tired. Maybe I had loaded and forgotten. I walked to my trailer, opened the doors. Empty, just empty aluminum space. No crates, no equipment, nothing. There's nothing here. Look at your suspension. I did. The truck sagged. The tires compressed, the fifth wheel connection strained, like I was carrying maximum weight. 45,000 pounds of cargo, but there was nothing there. What the hell is this? Phantom load happens sometimes. Weight without mass, mass without form. You're carrying it. You agreed to carry it, and now you have to deliver it. I never agreed to... You signed the contract. He showed me a paper, my signature, my handwriting, but I didn't remember signing, didn't remember agreeing. The contract was in languages I couldn't read, symbols I couldn't comprehend, but there at the bottom, my name, my commitment. What am I carrying? Better if you don't know. Just drive, follow the GPS, deliver to Memphis, you'll be paid. Triple rate, $20,000, and you'll be released from the contract. 20,000. 3 times my normal rate, enough to pay off my truck, enough to get ahead. I should have walked away, should have refused, but I needed the money, needed it desperately. Fine, I'll deliver it. The foreman smiled, relieved, terrified. Good, don't stop. Don't open the trailer while driving. And don't look back, ever. What you're carrying doesn't like to be observed. I pulled out of Sacramento at 3 p.m. on October 15th. The GPS activated, showed a route, but not I-80, not any interstate. Back roads, county highways. Routes through Nevada and Utah and Colorado and Kansas. Routes I'd never driven. Routes that barely existed on maps. The weight was strange. I felt it. Through the steering, through the gas pedal, through every response of the truck. I was carrying something massive. But when I glanced in my mirrors, the trailer looked empty. Just hollow aluminum. But the way the truck moved said otherwise. Said I was hauling maximum load, said I was heavy. At the first turn, the cargo shifted. I heard it, felt it, like massive crates sliding. But when I pulled over and checked, nothing. Empty. But the weight distribution had changed. The truck leaned, like the phantom load had moved from left to right, like it responded to physics even though it didn't physically exist. I drove. Hours passed. Nevada. Desert. Empty roads. The GPS rerouted me constantly, avoiding main highways, avoiding cities, taking me through the loneliest routes, through places where no one traveled, through forgotten America. At midnight, I stopped for fuel. Rural Nevada. Single pump station. The attendant stared at my truck. You're carrying them. Carrying what? The unborn, the never were, the might-have-beens. That's what phantom loads are. Alternate realities, parallel timelines, compressed and transported. You're hauling other versions of the world, and they want to be real. They want to replace this timeline. That's why you're taking them to Memphis. Memphis is a junction point, a place where timelines intersect. If your load reaches Memphis, it will unpack, become real. Replace this reality with itself. That's insane. Check your trailer. Really look. I walked back, opened the doors, still empty. But now I saw something. A shimmer, a distortion, like heat waves, like the air itself was wrong. And in that distortion, shapes. Vague shapes. Almost crates, almost equipment, almost solid. I reached out to touch. My hand passed through, but I felt resistance, potential. These things wanted to be real, wanted solidity, and they were using me to get it. I closed the doors, drove. What else could I do? I'd signed a contract. I'd agreed. And phantom loads don't let you quit. They ride you until delivery, or until you break. Colorado. The weight increased. I felt the truck struggle, felt the engine strain. I was carrying 60,000 pounds now, maybe 70. Overweight, dangerously overweight. But there was nothing to dump, nothing to reduce, just phantom cargo getting heavier, getting more real. The GPS rerouted again, onto a road that wasn't on any map. Dirt, gravel, through mountains, through forests, through spaces that felt wrong, spaces where the geometry didn't work, where distances were flexible, where I'd drive for hours but the odometer barely moved. I called dispatch. I need help. This load is wrong, it's getting heavier, it's changing. You're in a junction space, space between realities. The load is bleeding through, becoming more real. You need to reach Memphis before full manifestation. If it becomes completely real while you're in junction space, you'll be trapped. You'll become phantom. And the load will become real. It will take your place, your reality, your timeline. How do I stop it? You don't. You deliver. That's the contract. That's the rule. Deliver or be replaced. Kansas, day 3. The trailer wasn't empty anymore. I could see crates now. Faint, transparent, but visible. 73 crates, each one 6 feet long, each one marked with symbols, each one containing something that wanted to be born, to be real, to be this timeline instead of alternate. I tried to stop, tried to park, tried to abandon the load. My body wouldn't let me. The contract was binding, not just legally. Physically, my muscles moved, my hands steered, my feet operated pedals, but I wasn't controlling them. The contract was, the load was, I was a vehicle for the phantom cargo, a vessel for its desires. Missouri, day 4. The crates were solid now. I could touch them, feel them. They were real, or becoming real, and I was becoming phantom. I looked at my hands on the steering wheel. They were translucent, fading. I was being replaced, traded. The load was taking my reality, my solidity, my existence, and giving me its phantom nature. I tried to scream. No sound came. I was too insubstantial, too ghost. The load had stolen my voice, my substance, my right to exist, and it was using that stolen reality to become. Memphis appeared, finally. The GPS led me downtown, to a warehouse that looked normal, standard delivery dock, but the air around it shimmered, distorted. This was the junction point, the place where timelines could be swapped, where phantom became real and real became phantom. The dock door opened, workers emerged. But they were me. All of them. Different versions, different choices, different lives. All the Christopher Wades from alternate timelines, the might-have-beens, the parallel versions. They'd been waiting for someone to deliver them, waiting for someone to trade realities with. I backed into the dock. The trailer doors opened. The 73 crates were fully solid now. Real. Complete. The workers unloaded them. Each crate contained a life, a different version of reality, a different way things could have gone. And as they unloaded, I faded, became less, became phantom. My truck became transparent. My body became shadow. I was being exported, replaced. The load had reached its destination. And now it would unpack, would become this reality. While I became the phantom, the might-have-been, the never-was. The last crate was removed, the transaction completed. I was fully ghost now, fully phantom. I existed but didn't, could see but couldn't be seen, could move but couldn't interact. I'd become what I'd carried, and what I'd carried had become me. The workers walked away, living my life, my timeline. They'd take my truck, my route, my identity, and I'd haunt the junction spaces, the roads between realities, forever carrying phantom loads, forever fading, forever almost real. I'm still driving, phantom highways, between worlds, between timelines. I pick up loads that don't exist, deliver them to places that are becoming, and each delivery makes me less, makes me more phantom, more ghost. And I see other drivers, phantom drivers, hauling invisible cargo, all of us traded, all of us replaced, all of us serving the junction, serving the system that swaps realities. That makes some timelines real and others phantom. If you're hauling a load that seems too easy, that pays too much, that has blank documentation, check your cargo, really look. If it's not quite solid, if it shimmers, if it has weight without form, you're hauling phantom, and it's hauling you. And when you reach the delivery point, you'll understand. You'll be traded, made ghost, made might-have-been, and your load will take your place, will live your life, will be you, while you become it, become phantom, become forever between. I'm Christopher Wade. I was Christopher Wade. Now I'm Echo, now I'm Shadow, now I'm the driver who doesn't exist but drives anyway. On roads that aren't quite real, hauling loads that are becoming, forever fading, forever phantom. And if you see a truck with a transparent trailer, with a fading driver, with cargo that shimmers, that's me, that's us, the phantom haulers, the traded ones, the drivers who agreed to carry the impossible and paid with their reality. Don't wave, don't acknowledge, because attention makes us more real. And if we become too real, we might trade with you, might swap, might make you phantom and take your solidity, your timeline, your life. Just drive past, look away, forget you saw, because we're contagious. Phantom is contagious, and the junction is always hungry, always trading, always swapping reality for ghost. Story 6. The truck stop that eats time. I've ordered the same cup of coffee 49 times from the same waitress at the same truck stop on I-95 in South Carolina, and she brings it with the same smile and the same slight limp and says the same words. Here you go, hun, careful, it's hot. And the clock on the wall says 11:47 p.m. every single time, and I've been trying to leave for what feels like 6 hours. But every time I walk toward the door, I'm sitting at my booth again with a fresh cup of coffee appearing, and I'm Marcus Webb, 63 years old, 39 years on the road, and I think this truck stop is a loop, a temporal loop, and I'm trapped in approximately 4 minutes of time that repeat forever. And the other customers are trapped too, and some of them have been here for years, decades, centuries. All of us ordering and eating and drinking and existing in the same 4 minutes while the world outside moves forward and leaves us behind in this pocket of frozen time. The truck stop had looked normal when I pulled in. Standard Flying J layout, diesel pumps, restaurant, showers, rows of parked semis. I'd been driving for 11 hours, needed coffee, needed a break, took exit 97 off I-95, pulled into the lot at 11:43 p.m., parked, walked inside. The waitress greeted me. 50-something. Name tag said Marlene. Sit anywhere, hun, be right with you. I took a booth, vinyl seats, laminate table, view of the parking lot, my truck visible through the window, everything normal. Marlene came over, took my order, coffee, black. She brought it 90 seconds later. Here you go, hun, careful, it's hot. I sipped, good coffee, strong. I looked at the clock, 11:47 p.m., looked at my phone, 11:47 p.m., looked at my watch. 11:47 p.m., all synchronized, all correct. I drank the coffee, checked my phone, some messages, some weather updates, looked up. Marlene was approaching with coffee. Here you go, hun. Careful, it's hot. I already have coffee. I pointed at my cup, 3/4 full. She looked confused, then her face reset, blank, then smiled. Here you go, hun. Careful, it's hot. Set the second cup down, walked away. I looked at both cups, identical, same temperature, same amount of steam. The first cup was still 3/4 full. But here was another, fresh. I checked the clock, 11:47 p.m., still hadn't changed. I stood up, walked toward the door, took 3 steps, then I was sitting at the booth again, both coffee cups gone, and Marlene was approaching, with coffee. Here you go, hun, careful, it's hot. I grabbed her wrist. What's happening? What is this? She looked at me. Her eyes were wrong, filmed, distant. Here you go, hun. Careful, it's hot. Stop! Answer me! What's wrong with this place? Here you go, hun. Careful, it's hot. She pulled her wrist away, set down the coffee, walked away, like a recording, like a script, like she had no choice. I looked around the restaurant, 12 other customers, truckers mostly, all sitting, all eating or drinking, all still, not frozen but looping. I watched. A man at the counter took a bite of pie, chewed, swallowed. His fork went back down to the plate. Took the same bite again, same motion, same chewing, same swallowing, over and over, same 4-second loop. A couple in a booth argued. The woman said something, the man responded, she said something else. He responded. The exact same exchange, every 30 seconds, repeating, endless. They were all trapped, all looping, all stuck in whatever action they'd been doing at 11:47 p.m. whenever they'd entered this place. And now they repeated it, forever, until something broke the cycle. I tried to leave again, stood, walked toward the door. 5 steps this time before I was back at the booth, coffee appearing. Marlene's voice, "Here you go, hun. Careful, it's hot." The loop was learning, adapting. It had let me get 3 steps the first time, 5 steps the second. It was measuring my resistance, calculating my escape attempts, and adjusting, making the loop tighter, harder to break. I tried the windows, couldn't reach them. Every attempt to move more than 6 feet from my booth resulted in reset. Back to sitting, back to coffee, back to Marlene's greeting. I was tethered, bound to this spot, this moment, this 4 minutes of time. I tried talking to other customers, the man with the pie. I shouted at him, "Hey, you're in a loop, you're repeating, can you hear me?" He looked up, made eye contact, said, "Here you go, hun, careful, it's hot." Marlene's words in his voice, wrong, corrupted. Then he went back to eating his loop pie. They were all speaking her words now, the couple arguing. They both said it. "Here you go, hun, careful, it's hot." "Here you go, hun, careful, it's hot." Back and forth, automated, the loop was deteriorating them, making them less distinct, less individual. Soon they'd all be Marlene, all be the same loop, all be one repeating pattern. I checked my phone, tried to call for help, no signal. The display showed 11:47 p.m. The time didn't change, the battery didn't drain, the phone was frozen like everything else, trapped in the moment. I noticed something. Through the window, my truck. It was moving. Not moving forward, moving in a loop. It appeared in the same parking spot, same angle, over and over. Every 4 minutes it would flicker, reset, appear again. Like it was on a recording. Like everything outside was on a 4-minute loop too. But other vehicles drove past on I-95. I could see them. They moved normally forward, progressing, not looping. So the loop was localized, just the truck stop, just this building, just us trapped inside. How many loops? How many repetitions? I tried to count. Lost track at 70. Could be thousands, could be millions. Time inside the loop wasn't linear. 4 minutes could repeat forever. Could have been repeating forever. I could have been here for years and not known. Because memory inside a loop doesn't accumulate. Each reset erases progress, resets knowledge, but I remembered. Why did I remember? I looked at my hands. They were scarred, old scars, from decades of trucking, but also new scars, scars I didn't remember getting, scars that suggested I'd tried to escape before, many times, and failed, and reset. But the scars remained, physical proof of previous loops, previous attempts. I counted the scars. 49. 49 attempts to escape. This was my 50th. I'd been here before many times, always forgetting, always resetting. But my body remembered. My body kept score. I tried something different. Instead of escaping, I stayed, observed, watched the pattern, looking for breaks, looking for glitches, looking for a way out. Loop 51, Marlene's limp. It changed slightly. Left leg one loop, right leg the next. Inconsistent, a flaw in the pattern. Loop 67, the clock skipped. 11:47 to 11:48 for a fraction of a second, then back to 11:47. But I'd seen it. Time was trying to progress, trying to break free. The loop wasn't perfect. Loop 83. A customer I hadn't seen before appeared, sat at the counter, ordered coffee, then disappeared. Then reappeared at a different seat. The loop was glitching, adding and removing elements, corrupting. I realized the loop was degrading. It couldn't sustain itself perfectly forever. It was failing, slowly. Over thousands or millions of repetitions it was breaking down, and eventually it would collapse. And we'd either be freed or erased or something worse. Loop 104. Marlene brought coffee but no cup. Just mimed holding a cup, set down nothing, said her line, walked away. The loop was losing objects, losing physical reality. Soon it would be just patterns, just ghosts of actions, just memory of events that no longer happened. I tried to communicate with the loop, spoke to it. Let me go, please, I don't belong here, I have deliveries, I have a life outside, please let me go. The lights flickered, the clock spun. 11:47, 11:48, 11:49, 12 1:15, 6:33, 11:47. Time was spasming, trying to catch up, trying to synchronize with the outside world. Decades of missed time trying to compress, trying to reconcile. Then it stopped. 11:47 p.m. Again. Always. But something changed. A new voice. Not Marlene, not any customer. From the walls, from the building itself. You're not trapped. You're preserved. The loop protects you. Outside, time passes. You age, you die. Inside, you're eternal. 4 minutes, forever, safe, unchanging, perfect. I don't want eternal. I want to live. I want to finish my route. Your route ended. Decades ago. You're 63 outside, but you've been here for 37 years of real time. You're 100 now, outside. Your body aged while your mind looped. If we release you, you'll experience all that aging instantly. You'll die. Immediately. That's why we hold you, to protect you, to keep you young, to give you immortality. I looked at my hands again, the scars, but also the skin. It was young, smooth. 63, not 100. The loop was preserving me, keeping me from aging, but at the cost of experience, of life, of freedom. Let me choose, let me die if I want, but let me leave. Silence. Then, very well. The door opened, real opened. Not a reset, not a loop, actually opened. I stood, walked toward it, 10 steps, 20, 30. I reached the door, pushed it, stepped outside. The air hit me. Real air, cold, moving. I breathed it, tasted it, felt it. I was outside the loop, I was free, then I felt it. Time. 37 years of time. Rushing in. My body aged instantly, 63 to 100 in seconds. My joints seized, my heart faltered, my vision blurred. I was dying, rapidly catching up to real time. I collapsed in the parking lot, looked at the truck stop, through failing eyes. The building was gone. Not there anymore, just an empty lot, cracked asphalt, weeds, abandoned. The truck stop had never existed in real time. It was a pocket, a bubble, a time trap that caught drivers and held them. And when they escaped, time killed them. I'm Marcus Webb. I was Marcus Webb. I'm dying in a parking lot that doesn't exist. In a time that moved on without me. I'm 100 years old with the memories of 63. I escaped the loop, but the loop was mercy. Outside is death, quick, final, real. If you see a truck stop that feels wrong, that has customers who seem too still, that has a clock that doesn't change, don't enter, don't stop. It's a time trap. And once you're inside, you have two choices. Stay in the loop forever, young, eternal, trapped, or leave, and die immediately, catching up to the decades you missed. I chose death, I chose freedom, and I'm dying, and it's worth it. Because these 30 seconds of real time, of real air, of real freedom, are worth 37 years of loop. The clock in my dying vision shows 12:04 a.m. Time moved. Time progressed. I made it past 11:47, and that's victory. That's escape. That's enough. Story 7, the convoy to nowhere. There are 43 trucks ahead of me and 43 trucks behind me, and we're all driving in perfect formation at exactly 65 miles per hour through Wyoming on I-80. And I've been trying to exit for 72 miles, but every time I signal, the convoy tightens and blocks me in. And when I tried to brake, the truck behind me maintained exact distance no matter how slow I went. And when I tried to accelerate, the truck ahead matched my speed perfectly. And I'm Tyler Richmond, 32 years old, 8 years hauling freight, And I've realized this isn't a convoy of independent drivers heading the same direction. This is a single organism, 87 trucks moving as one entity, and I'm trapped in the middle, and we're not driving to a destination. We're driving because driving is the destination. We're the eternal convoy. The trucks that never stop, never deliver, never arrive, just drive forever in perfect formation across America. And I don't know if the other drivers are alive or if they're like me, trapped. Or if there's something else, something that was never human, something that just looks like truckers but exists only to maintain the convoy, to keep the formation, to drive and drive and drive until the roads end or we become the roads ourselves. And I've been trying to signal the cars passing us in the other lanes, trying to get help, but they don't see us. They drive right through our convoy like we're not solid, like we're ghosts, like we exist in a different layer of reality, and I'm starting to think we do. I think this convoy exists between dimensions, between the real world and somewhere else. And we're being taken there mile by mile, and when we finally arrive, we'll be so far from reality that we can never return. And I'll spend eternity in formation, truck 44 of 87, forever driving, forever trapped, forever part of the convoy to nowhere. I'd been alone on I-80, 3 a.m., empty highway, just me and darkness. Then the convoy appeared, not gradually, instantly. One moment, empty road. Next moment, I was surrounded, 43 trucks ahead, 43 behind, all appearing simultaneously, all perfectly spaced, all moving exactly 65 miles per hour. I tried the CB. Breaker, breaker, convoy ahead, what's your 20, where you headed? No response. Static, but I could see the trucks. All Kenworth T680s, all identical, all black, no company logos, no identifying marks, just blank black trailers. I tried to slow down, tapped my brakes. Speed dropped to 60, 55, 50. The truck behind me stayed exactly 3 car lengths back, no matter how slow I went. When I stopped completely, it stopped. 3 car lengths back, precise, watching. I started moving again. It matched, perfectly, like we were connected, like we were one vehicle. I accelerated, the truck ahead matched, maintaining exact distance. The convoy moved as one, 87 trucks, one consciousness. I tried to exit, took the off-ramp at exit 235, but the convoy didn't let me. The trucks on either side tightened formation, blocked my lane change, forced me forward. I was prisoner, trapped in position 44, unable to break formation. Hour passed, 2 hours, 3. The convoy never stopped, never slowed for traffic, never broke formation. We drove through cities without taking exits, through construction zones without adjusting, through weather without responding, just steady, perfect, eternal. I tried to see the other drivers, looked at the truck ahead. The cab was dark. No interior lights, no visible driver, just darkness behind the windshield. I looked back. Same thing. Dark cabs. No drivers visible. All of them. 86 trucks, all seemingly empty, all driving themselves. But my CB crackled. All channels simultaneously. A voice. Plural, like multiple people speaking in unison. Tyler Richmond, welcome to the Endless Convoy. You're number 44. You'll be 44 forever. This is your position, your place, your eternity. Let me go. I didn't agree to this. I'm not part of your convoy. You entered the formation. That's agreement. That's consent. Once inside, there's no exit. Just driving. Forever. That's the purpose. That's the function. I looked at the odometer. I'd driven 300 miles since the convoy appeared. But the fuel gauge hadn't moved, still half full, like the truck was running on something other than diesel, like it was sustained by the convoy itself. The road began to change, still I-80, still Wyoming, but different. The asphalt was darker, smoother, perfect, no cracks, no repairs, no wear, like new road, eternal road. And the landscape was fading. The mountains were becoming silhouettes, the towns were becoming suggestions, reality was thinning. We were leaving, not physically, dimensionally. The convoy was a transition, a vehicle for moving between worlds. and we were halfway gone, halfway between real and somewhere else. I tried to crash, deliberately jerked the wheel hard right, aimed for the shoulder. The truck wouldn't respond. The wheel turned, but the truck stayed in lane. The convoy maintained me, kept me in formation. I had no control. I was passenger. The convoy drove me. Days passed, or felt like days. Time was wrong. The sun rose and set, but the pattern was off. Too fast, too slow, inconsistent. We were moving out of time's normal flow, into whatever space the convoy inhabited. And I realized the other drivers weren't trapped. They were gone. Had been gone for centuries. These were their trucks, their final moments, preserved, repeated. The convoy was a graveyard, a collection of every truck that had entered formation and never left. 86 trucks, 86 dead drivers, all preserved, all driving, all eternal. And I was 87. The newest edition, the latest collection, and someday there'd be 88, and 90, and 100. The convoy growing, adding, forever expanding formation. I'm still driving, still in position 44, still trapped, still moving 65 miles per hour through a Wyoming that's more concept than place, through an America that's fading, through roads that lead nowhere because nowhere is the destination. If you're on I-80 and you see a convoy, 87 trucks, perfect formation, don't enter. Don't get between them, don't let them surround you, because once you're inside, you're part of it. Forever. Position 88, then 89, then however many more until the convoy is infinite. And we'll drive. Forever, the eternal convoy, the trucks to nowhere, the formation that never breaks, through dimensions, through time, through the thin places between real and unreal. I'm Tyler Richmond, Truck 44. Forever. And we're coming. The convoy, always moving, always growing, always collecting. And you might be next. You might be 88. And you'll drive, forever, in perfect formation, at exactly 65 miles per hour, until reality ends, or until you become so far from real that you forget you ever were. The convoy to nowhere, and nowhere is forever.